girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm really pleased about to bring you another San Martin. This isn't one of the newer San Martins, but this is one that's been on my radar for a long time. It's the SN0069-G. A few different colour variations to choose from, but initially when it came out, it had like a white enamel dial. They've since released a few colours. I've gone for their sort of blue colour. Really like the look of it. It's one that I've liked the look of for some time. I kid you not, this has been in my basket for months. Haven't pulled the trigger. There was no better time than the sale to do so. They also gave me a little bit of a discount, so thank you, San Martin. Will make no difference, but just helps. Yeah, when buying watches as often as I do. But yeah, it's basically fully polished. It's running Epsom movement, which is the same sort of movement you get in Orient. It's the YN55 sapphire crystal. You get the beautiful finishing that you get with San Martin. The bracelet is well done. But yeah, I was really keen to get it in, and I'm really pleased to have done so now. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video. Hopefully by the time you get to the end of it, you know if it's for you. If it is, please use the affiliate link. And with that being said, there's no better time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. Excuse my voice, it's not getting much better, but I do want to persist with this review. Yeah, this is the packaging it comes in. You've also got inside the box, you've got a hang tag, you've got a packet that's got inside, just bear with me guys, got the tools you need to size up the bracelet, you've got the warranty card inside all signed, and the usual sort of bits that you get from San Martin. This sort of packaging is pretty cool though, the fact that you can keep using it. So it's a faux leather, San Martin embossed on the top, green. There's the watch that I chose. Inside you'll see you've got the silica gel just to stop it getting all moist inside. You've got two links taken off for it to fit my wrist, but we'll go through that in just a little bit more detail in a moment. Let me just get it off the sleeve. Inside and the sleeve as well is sort of velvety material, so nice and soft, not very abrasive, so shouldn't have any problems in terms of causing any problems to the watch, which is just as well because of this watch. It is all polished, so you don't really want to get any marks, and that's another reason why this sort of watch especially needs gloves to be worn when you're reviewing it, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare otherwise. But yeah, the model number for this is the SN0069G. Inside the watch, it's running a Orient, so it's Epsom YN55A. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. Yeah, you'd have probably seen this movement quite a few times now. They're generally used, as I was trying to say, in Orient watches, not exclusively, but generally that's normally where you're going to find them. Rugged, reliable movements. They're sort of very similar to the sort of Seiko movements of the world. Quite a known entity. There's a reason Orient used them, and they do such a good job. So there we go. This also comes in a few different color variations that I'll bring up next to me now. I did like this sort of blue dial. It's one that really spoke to me. So that's the reason I chose it. But yeah, there's a few others to choose from as well. So there's gonna be, I think you'll definitely find something that's in keeping with your taste with this watch. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal, is all 316L stainless steel. And unusually, unlike other watches, it's all high polished throughout. It's not, I wouldn't say it's Saratsu polishing, but it's very well done. Very well done. You've got the sharp lines even with the polishing. They've done really well. So that's the bezel, which is fixed. You've got the crown, which has got a little bit of embossment on there, but generally, yeah, the bracelet, the clasp, case back, the back part of the bracelet is brushed, so I suppose that's something, but that's not really too important. But yeah, generally the watch itself, the parts you're going to see, is all high polished 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of the watch is 12.5 millimeters. The case diameter, I'll measure sort of above the crown. It was coming at 40.5 millimeters, and when you go from the 9 to the 3, including that crown, it was coming in at 43.1 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 16 mil at the clasp, and the lug to lug, tip to tip of the watch, so without the Melwin links, it's coming in at 46 millimeters. When you include those slightly overhanging center links, we also call them Melwin links, it comes in just below 50, so 49.9 millimeters. The bezel I've already spoke to you about is a fixed bezel. I like the way it's done. I like the way it plays with the light. Unusual. I've not really seen this before. So if you've seen it on another watch, please do let me know. The crown is situated at the 3 o'clock position. It's a screw down crown. But yeah, nice and easy to deal with, and we'll deal with that in just a moment. The case back, I did show you just a moment ago. Let me just open it. It's high polished, as I mentioned, and it is screwed down. You'll see how well polished it is in terms of how it sort of hits off the surface. There's no sort of distortion, which sometimes you get with polishing. So yeah, the polishing is done really, really well, as I've mentioned previously. The bracelet is really, really nice. It's sort of like a Jubilee style bracelet, tapers down nicely to by 4mm. You've got screw pins, just making it nice and easy to size out when the time comes. Nice signage on the clasp. I like the fact it's all sort of integrated. When it's closed, it's quite seamless. All you got is that little um, logo there, but you use it to open it, and it's nice and easy. And then it just sort of hides back away again, which is nice, very discreet, and it makes it very comfortable on the wrist because you haven't got much overhanging on at the bottom of your wrist. The crystal covering the dial is a sapphire crystal. Not a bad sapphire crystal, quite a good AR coating on there generally, which will make it nice and easy for you to see that dial, the logo and the hands and everything else, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. The water resistance of the watch is 100 meters, so that'll give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. With 2 links taken out, it's just above 100, 133.5 grams, 133.6. With those 2 links back in, it's probably 145, 150 grams. So probably expected amount of heft given the size of the watch. But yeah, there we go. But let's have a look at the dial, guys, in a bit more detail. I do think it's a really stunning dial. So what you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside that, you've got applied battens everywhere. You've got a double batten at the 12 o'clock position. You've got singular battens everywhere else. You've got a slightly smaller batten at the 3 o'clock, making way for the date, given it is a date movement. You've got the date board. You've got the date just inside there. The date wheel is white with black writing. Not too offensive, really, given you've got black writing on the dial as well. Nice border to the date as well. High polished hands, high polished indices, which is probably hardly surprising. You've got the San Martin logo just applied just below the double batten at the 12 o'clock position. You've got automatic, 100 meters equals 330 feet, just above the batten at the 6 o'clock. That's been printed on as opposed to the logo, which has been applied. As I say, all polished, which, as I say, is very hardly surprising given the sort of watch itself is all polished. You've got the blue, which is sort of their own version of sort of like the Tiffany blue, if you like. I'm not saying it is that, but it's their own sort of version. I think it looks really, really pretty, really, really nice. They've executed it well, and like I said, with the different color variations to choose from, chances are you're probably going to find one that's sort of in keeping with your taste, guys. So there you go. It is all loomed. I'll bring the loom up now. Reasonable loom, I would say. If not, yeah, I'd say reasonable, not amazing, but given it's a sort of dressy sports watch, it's definitely passable. No problems really with the loom. But yeah, let me just undo the crown. So let me just take the crown out. Put it all the way to the second position. What I'll do is what I should have done before. You'll see the date change over at the 12, which is good. Let me stick it around there for now. So you'll see it's got hacking. As I took the crown out, you'll see the second hand will stop. Put it back in, it will start back up again. Take it to the first position. So when it unscrews from the case, pull it out one position, turn it towards you. You'll see you can change the date. Turn it away from you, nothing will happen because there's no day of the week on there or anything like that. Put it back in, then you can screw it back up. And I'm doing this with gloves on. So the fact I'm able to do it with gloves on tells you, yeah, it's quite easy to deal with. But there we go, guys. That's the hands, that's the dial, that's everything going on there. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. Okay, so guys and girls, that's what it looks like on me. I think it's an exceptionally pretty thing. I've been after this type of watch for a little while, and I think it looks really, really stunning. Not one of their newer releases, but one I've been meaning to get my hands on. It looks very nice, doesn't it? There we are, guys. Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me on swiftly to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants is not a great deal. And I've got two things. One of them is a little bit subjective. And it could be one of those things that you don't mind because that's why you bought the watch. But the first thing I think is undeniable is the bracelet length. You would have seen that for me, I took the two links out for it to fit my wrist. My wrist is really an average size wrist. So I mean, if you've got a larger wrist, unfortunately, this watch will not fit you, which is a real shame. I think they need to size it a little bit better. They've given you so many links that you can take out, which is fantastic, but they've just made the bracelet too short. So the bracelet length is what I would definitely go for in terms of what I think is pants. Also, what I think is pants, like I said, subjective. A bit too many polished surfaces on it. It was nice to see it, but just a couple maybe brush surfaces, unlike obviously you got it underneath, but what you can see, I think it just offers that little bit better, more premium finishing. They've done quite sharp lines given it's all polishing, but yeah, a little couple of brush surfaces maybe wouldn't have gone amiss. So maybe the all polished is also something to consider. So they're the two things, the bracelet length and all polished. What I think is Pukka, I did mention it a little while ago, the crystal clarity on this is actually really, really good. One of the better ones I've had from San Martin for a little while, to be perfectly honest. The dial, I think they've done really well with the sort of coloured dial. It's an enamel dial. It looks very, very flawless. The applied elements, so like I said, with the San Martin logo at the 12, the indices, it looks really, really nice. That logo, the detail of that logo is just fantastic, I think. Looks really, really nice. The bezel, something a little bit different. Like I said, I'm not saying it's not been done before. I haven't seen it. So it's been nice to see it. I know what they've gone off. They've sort of gone off for like a Rolex, but it's a little bit different. Not really fluted. It's a little bit different. The bracelet, yeah, the bracelet's super comfortable. It tapers down nicely. Really easy to size. I like the fact that the clasp is sort of hidden away. You got the catch there. Again, nicely finished from San Martin. So the clasp, the polishing, I think the polishing's done to an extremely high standard. I'm not saying the Zaratsu polishing, but they've done an excellent job with the polishing on this watch. And the general look of the watch, I think it looks really cool. It's a good size. I think it's probably more leaning towards a men's watch, or a woman. If your lady has got a bigger wrist, this has definitely got you covered also. But yeah, I think the general look of the watch is fantastic. So they're the things I think of Pukka as the crystal clarity, dial, applied elements, bezel, bracelet, clasp, polishing, and general look of the watch. And guys and girls, would I recommend this watch? I really would. I think it's a really stunning piece. Details are fantastic. And you can pick this up sort of prices you can. Do keep an eye out for sales and stuff, but I think it's a really, really good watch. Really one that you'll love wearing. More of a dressy piece. I wouldn't have it in too many sporty occasions. Given it will scratch up. But there we go. I definitely would. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch. More importantly, maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.